Well, I wonder how long it's going to take for the notifications to get out that Pappy's finally gone live on this new technology here. Let's see if anyone picks up on it. If not, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and I'll ramble on a little bit and end it, and we'll set something up for the future perhaps. It's a beautiful day here. Today's Sunday in southeast Massachusetts, and just a great fall day. Nice and sunny outside after a couple of days of rain. And I see some. Hi there, Skunk Cake Off Grid. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. This is my very first live broadcast that I've ever done. So you're like the first one to jump on here. So you must be like me on coffee break. We'll give it a couple of minutes. Thank you for joining me. From time to time, I'd like to go live when I get a few minutes in my not so busy life anymore that I'm retired, but just to kind of pass along some of the stuff that I've encountered over my many years of walking on this earth. Hi, Lane. Good to see you. Hi, Betty. You've been playing with solar panels all morning, Skunk Cape Off Grid? I'll tell you what, solar panels are kind of the way to go with the way the prices are going up in electricity now, and they're going to go higher too. I got a generator just in case, but all of my lawn equipment stuff that I use now that I live in this city is electric. And I used to plug it in all the time to an outside plug. But you know, the weed whackers and the electric chainsaws and the electric lawnmowers, they do use a bit of energy. So it's just about as cheap for me to use the generator to plug them in. Well, hi, Rod. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, Rod. Glad to have you guys aboard. Look, this is not going to be a very long broadcast today because this is my first time playing with StreamYard. And I know that this is probably going to, end up being recorded on my little YouTube channel over there. And for those that don't know it, I do have a little YouTube channel. And just like my name at the bottom here says Pappy Two Bears, that's what my YouTube channel is. So this should be getting recorded over there for future reference. Hi, Two Feathers. Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad to have you all aboard. Well, one of the things that I wanted to bring up, hey, there he's Monty. Hey, Monty, you're pretty observant. I didn't tell anybody that I was going to go live today. One of the things that I want to do, particularly this time of year, it's fall. And fall is a good indicator that there's a change afoot. And, we've all been running the gauntlet, so to speak, over the last year and a half with all the big changes that have taken place in the world around us. But not only that, the changes that have taken place within us as we try to come to some kind of a grip as to how we're supposed to operate within this new realm that we're finding ourselves in. And with the way things are, people sometimes feel that they don't have any control over what is going on. And that's not really true, because a lot of that really depends upon our perception, doesn't it? Well, a lot of the experiences that I've had over the last 7 decades, I found that sometimes the best change occurs when I get up off my rear end and actually put something in motion, whether physically, whether mentally, whether emotionally, or whatever. It's the idea of doing something rather than trying to react to something being done to me. And with that, as you might have seen with the title, "Creating the Winds of Change," there was a simple ceremony that I came up with years and years ago that seemed to work for me. Okay, and if you'll indulge me for a minute, what I'd like to do is kind of read you this teaching, if you will. And what this teaching is a very simple technique of using just two simple feathers. Okay, and hold on just a second. Don't mind the mess behind me. My table is a work in progress of getting cleaned at some point in time. So if you will, just indulge me a moment, and I'm going to read this statement to you, and then we can talk about it a little bit. Hi, Robert. Good to see you. So I'm going to click my camera off, and I want you to just listen for a minute as I read this. This is called Creating the Winds of Change in Your Life. When is the time that you realize a change is needed in the direction your life has been going? Perhaps you're struggling through a particularly tough period that is challenging your faith and your stamina to cope with all the stress that you burden with each day. Or perhaps you feel that you have arrived at a boring, do nothing, going nowhere phase of life that leaves you feeling stuck in the mud. There are many life situations that we will experience while we're on our earth walk that can serve as a wonderful catalyst for change. These are opportunities that are waiting for your response. We're being asked to do something about it. I might suggest that you try a simple exercise that will start movement in your life towards the change you need and are desiring. It involves the use of two feathers that will be the tools to help you communicate what you desire. The feathers don't have to be elaborate or anything special unless you feel otherwise. It is your intent for their use that activates them and puts them to work for you in a two-step process that is easily accomplished in your own time and your own place. I call these steps the giveaway and the call. In the giveaway step, it's important that you first give some deep thought to the things which are the deepest concern to you and which you would like to have removed from or changed in your life. Take the first feather that you have and hold it in front of you with both of your hands and focus on it with the intent that it absorbs the concerns that you are thinking about. Now inhale deeply and hold for the count of 4. And focusing your concerns into that feather, blow forcefully across it. And I mean blow until your lungs are empty. By doing this, you have activated this feather to its purpose, to absorb that which is negative in your life that you no longer want. To complete this giveaway, you must now release this feather to do its work. Don't be tempted to keep it. Does it make any sense to give something negative away and then store it away and let it rot further? That's just silly. You must give the contents away. So at your first opportunity, you take this feather, take it someplace outside, hang it in a tree, drop it out the window while you're driving down the road or whatever. Let the feather go to do its work, to be carried on the wind, and then forget about it. This is important, okay, in order for these negative things to remove from your energy body. Now, to do the calling, you're going to use the same procedure, except you're going to use a different feather. And you'll be focusing your intent this time for a call for your highest good. And before you breathe into the feather. Now, when I say making out a call for the highest good, okay, I don't mean it to make out a wash list. Oh, I really wish I had a new car. I wish I had a new washing machine. I wish I had a brand new set of headphones. Okay, put it out there generally. You wish for that which is for your highest good, for your best growth, for your best health, whatever. Let Creator take care of your needs. He knows much better than you do. Now, I want you to breathe that intent on the feather. Now you notice the word that I use? Breathe. Okay, not blow, breathe. Okay, almost like a sigh on this feather. A full, gentle breath will indicate that you have a humble heart, asking for your spirit helpers and creation to hear your request and send you the very best for you in the amount you need, in the time that you need it, the strength that you need it, and in the manner that it needs to come to you. Don't forget to give thanks for the blessings. They're on their way. You just don't know about it yet. Now keep this feather because it's been activated with your intent for your highest good. Hang it in a location, someplace in your house, in a window, wherever, where the breeze can move it. And every time that breeze moves that feather, it sends out your intent again. It'll continually send it out. From time to time, you may wish to take the feather and actually wave it through the air to create a small breeze of change, if you will. Pretty simple exercise. You know, your feathers don't have to be elaborate. You know, like the feathers that I've used in ceremony for many years. This one, for example, is one that I use when I do smudging to bring in positivity. This particular feather here, which I don't know if I can get it in the camera for you to see well, okay. This one is much, much longer. This one is what I use to remove negativity when I do smudging exercises or I wish to do clearing or things of this nature. What's significant about this big long feather? It's a wing feather from a vulture. What does a vulture do? Eats up the negative stuff. Okay, so I figure, hey, that'll remind me of what it's for. When you get old like me, sometimes you need these little memory jogs, you know. So I welcome your comments about that little exercise and if anyone's ever used anything similar to that, in your life before, or perhaps you'll use this one and can give me feedback at some point in the time. All right. So what I'm going to do is Betty's asking, and let me click on this. Okay. Pappy, should we offer tobacco and sage beforehand? The catching and calling of the feathers. Now, she brings up a point that I hadn't discussed in this. This depends upon your personal beliefs, your personal understanding of your sacred space, cultural beliefs. Now, in my Native American teachings and the way that my elders have taught me, yes, very much so. I would create sacred space for myself that I have saged, in other words, to remove the negativity using that negative removing feather that I showed you. Okay. And then the offering of the tobacco as an offering of thank you. Now, for those that don't understand what Betty's alluding to there, in the Native American culture, we have sacred herbs that we use in addition to our medicinal herbs. the sacred herbs are used primarily in our spiritual work, and they're used for cleansing, for clearing, for bringing in positive energy, and for offering gifts of thank you as a giveaway. Okay, and depending upon which nation or which group, these can vary all the way from corn pollen, flower pollens, to different types of pines, different types of cedars, different types of sage, and different methodology in their use. Okay, if you feel comfortable in setting up your sacred space, uh, doing those things, by all means, do that. Um, is it necessary? I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think the key point is, what is your true intent? If your true intent is in fact true, and it comes from your heart and not from what your mind is telling you that you want, okay, then literally you're sending this from your own sacred space within. Okay, but that's a great question. Thank you, Betty. Now, as far as what type of feathers, I see a question in here. Can I use two feathers? Says, let me find you. Where'd you go? Boy, this chat does move fast. Hi, Craig. How you doing? Now, Pappy, can I use feathers that I found? If one of the things that I really used to find amazing, years and years and years and years ago, when I really first started getting into the ceremonial aspects of my spiritual pathway, I didn't have a lot of feathers. I didn't have any of that stuff. So I just started saying, boy, I sure wish I could find some feathers. And pretty soon, yeah, they started showing up. And if you don't have feathers, you could, and you do have a need for feathers, and it seems like they're going to be used in an honorable and a good way, I'll bet you they'll show up. But any feathers can be used, and they can be, you know, for a purpose. You put the intent on them. So the types of feathers. Now, if two feathers, if you want to go out there and grab a big old ostrich wing and wave that around in the air, you go for it. Okay. If that's what you have, a peacock feather, a sparrow feather, something as small as a hummingbird feather. Size doesn't make any difference. The color doesn't make any difference. The species of bird it comes from doesn't make any difference. What does make a difference is the intent. That's what makes all the difference. So you can have a chicken feather and think it's an eagle feather. That's fine. It worked out just as well. Okay, let's go down through some of the chat and see what else we got. Craig, it's just good to see you. Good morning. And Robert's here. And who else? Hi, Diana. How are you? And Deb. Okay, Betty says, I'll highlight that. I am Native American and have held to my family traditions all my life. The one of the things that I like about that particular statement is that we don't forget that which the ancestors have handed to us. Okay, we can have a tendency to change what the ancestors handed to us because we're in different times. So the traditions and the ceremonies are not cut in stone as far as I'm concerned, because the traditions and ceremonies are indications of your understanding of how they're used in your own spiritual growth. Now, when I did ceremonies, for example, within my family clan, I'm the pipe holder for my family clan, by the way. We set up, and it's based upon our traditions, using the traditional tools and stuff that we've had that's been handed down and stuff. And so there's a general set of rules for their use and their handling and their care and things of this nature. Okay. And within those general set of rules, there's a lot of flexibility built into what they're used for, how they're used, and the manner in which they can be used. Okay, but the important thing is the core belief. Now, we don't have to be Native American to have those core beliefs, but we do have to be a human being with understandings that we are part of the I am. Okay, those are our roots. And if we are part of the I am, that great spiritual truth, and we stay connected to that, okay, and the intent is true and filtered through that, then generally the traditions that we can come up with will be meaningful to us. They will be powerful in our lives, okay, and it'll help us with our understanding of how we apply them in our lives, because that's all we're supposed to do. Is we're supposed to go through creation, be part of creation, be co-creators with creation, and be in good relations with creation. Okay, and we do that by remaining balanced and centered with that creation within us. So all the ways and means and methodologies of doing that, okay, they become important to us because they work for us. But there are so many of them out there that lead to the same source. So I'm not going to make judgment or pass judgment on the methodologies or techniques that someone else uses to go to the same spring of water that I'm drinking from. Otherwise, my path would be so crowded that I'd be at the back of the line on my own path trying to get the water. Okay, so I'll let everybody have their own pathway and I won't make any decisions about it. Thanks for the comment, Betty. Well, so who else we got here? Hi, Typical. Good to see you. I don't normally come up unannounced online like this, okay? And this is my first time using StreamYard, so I have not put the link up to invite anybody to come up and chit chat with me, and I'm kind of hesitant about doing that because I'm liable to get myself in trouble. Like poor Travis has his train wrecks all the time, and about the time that I get up here and I'll get in a good conversation with either the dog will come up and give me a boop, or the cat will jump in my lap and wipe its tail under my nose. That happens many times. Okay, but I will at some point in time do that. I'm trying to determine what might be a good time where I'm not in conflict with um, other folks' live streams. And I seem to have a particular issue with my setup here. This stream is coming out through my old 2007 PC, and it's a direct, it's a direct hookup through the wire and everything, but it's also wireless. And during the daytime, I seem to be able to have a pretty doggone good broadband signal. But at night, in the evening hours, the wife perhaps will fire up the laptop or two, and then my signal goes. I don't have a signal that I can say and try to get on live streams and stuff without buffering and all kinds of things. So I'm thinking that midday is probably going to be the best time for me. But I'll rely on your feedback to see if it works out for you. But I would like to come up, perhaps not daily, but perhaps more than 2 or 3 times a week, to be able to pass along some of the things that I've learned over my life that may or may not be of some benefit to your life. And you might ask yourself, or perhaps want to ask me, why am I interested in doing that? My wife and I don't have grandchildren. Our children were not able to have children. And we are living basically in a state where we are not around our family anymore. And I'm getting to the point in my life where, I have a lot of different information that I would love to be able to pass on and pass along. And if somebody else can use it or change it or whatever, I consider that at this point in my life to be part of my giveaway. And when I talk about the spiritual things, or I talk about healing or praying or things of this nature, okay, I want you to understand that I'm not doing a darn thing. All I'm doing is trying to be a vessel, or in the native terminology, trying to be a hollow bone that Creator blows through in the direction that it needs to go. Okay, so I look at that as perhaps a goal that's worthy, in my life now. It may just be the ramblings of an old man. In that case, it becomes entertainment. All right, so I would like to cut this short for today, okay, because believe it or not, I'm still pulling stuff out of my garden out there. And after a couple of days of rain, it'd be nice to get out there on a sunshiny day and actually utilize some of the energy that I've accumulated after sitting on my rear end for a couple of days. All right, so if you would be interested in seeing this again, by all means, give it a thumbs up. Make your comments down there. I'll read them all, and we're gonna just let it develop the way it goes. I've put the call out there. We'll see what Creator does with it. Maybe he can make me a tool and still have some use for me in my old age here. Okay. I want to bless everybody and tell you to keep your light lit. And what light am I talking about? I'm talking about that bright light that I see in every one of you when I go on these chats and stuff. I can see that. I can feel that. Okay. And it's important that we don't put a basket over our light in these times, because the light is needed in the world right now, and we can make a big difference. Okay. But you got to remember, there's a lot of things that are attracted to the light that are not necessarily healthy for us either. So you need to be aware of that. So once in a while, when we have our light bulb on, don't forget to take the rag out and clean it off, because the bugs sure will poop on it. Okay. I'd like to just leave you all with my blessings for happiness, my blessings for fulfillment, for growth, for the ability to leave good footprints on the right side of the earth every morning when you get up. This is Pappy Two Bears, and I'll tell you what, this has been enjoyable for me. And I look forward to being able to do it again in the future. Have a good day, friends.